everybody. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for being here on this nice Friday, Friday morning. You guys look great. Thank you for being here. We are very excited to be here. My name is Reva, and
I'm Leda.
And we are going to be part of this panel today, and we're very excited to be here. I guess we can do a little bit of a brief introduction. My name is Reva Pao. I am a high schooler. I go to the Los Angeles County High School for the Arts, and I'm a theater student. I'm a senior currently. While I'm kind of doing this brief introduction, could you guys put your name in the chat and maybe some careers that you guys are interested in, things you guys have like thought about, but I'll continue my brief introduction. I'm a senior in high school. I'm a theater student. I'm currently working on a bunch of projects at school, kind of filming stuff, getting used to like the digital, socially remote senior year. I'm also part of multiple dance teams. I'm a competitive dancer, so theater and dance kind of, that's what my life has been revolving around for a very long time. I'm also a theater instructor, which is a kind of a new role I've taken on recently, and I've been teaching about kids ages 4 through 11, like the basics of theater, kind of how acting works, how to approach scenes and monologues and whatever that might be. So yeah, I've been an art student for a very long time, and yeah, I'm just very excited to be here. You guys look great.
And I'm Leda, and if you could put in the chat like what careers you're interested in, like when you think about what you want to do, like anything that comes to mind, whether it's a creative career or any kind of career or any kind of job you think you'd want. If you could just put that in the chat so we can kind of get a sense of what you guys are interested in, that'd be great. So I see owning my own boutique, sound producing or DJing, cool. So I'm Leda, and I have had an extremely awesome creative career. I've been producing in the entertainment industry for over 25 years, and I've done documentaries, I've produced reality TV shows, I produce commercials, I produce live events and art shows and art installations. And I feel like because I had a creative arts education growing up, I have had a very creative approach to my career in general as I've developed. And I really feel grateful that I have had that attitude. So today we're going to be talking about like, how do you have a career that is either like a creative career as an artist or just any career, but be creative while you're doing it. So I'm also here representing an amazing campaign called Create California. It's CreateCA.org. And we are really fighting hard to make sure that every student has a creative education for a bunch of reasons that we will get into. But please take a look at that. So I see choreographer. I produced Just Dance Kids and worked with some amazing choreographers on that and watched their careers, and it's a great job. Traveler, I like that career. Teacher or pro dancer, doing business and traveling the world. I mean, having a creative background as a business person is really important. I think, the people I know in my life who are successful business people are creative, and it's, the number one thing that people are looking for when they're hiring is creativity. So being a business person, that's a great choice, but still really important that you're getting a creative education. See, physical therapist, professional dancer, those go hand in hand. Being a senator, now that takes some creative skills, doesn't it?
It's a good one. I see a lot of professional dance. That's really fun. I always thought I was going to be a professional dancer, but that's kind of changed over the years. But that's so cool. And I'm seeing a lot of careers that totally go like hand in hand, and of course, like, we'll definitely need kind of like this creative process, creative way of approaching things. Being a senator, yes. These are some great responses. Surgeon or nurse, that
takes a lot of creativity.
You're gonna be in school for a very long time, so I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Microbiologist,
wow.
Super firefighter.
Yes.
These are all great ideas, and all of them need creative problem-solving skills in order to do a great job. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why creativity matters and why I'm so passionate about making sure that every student has an arts education. For one thing, it's the law, which probably most of you don't know and most people don't know, but the California Education Code says that every single student in California is going to have access to music, dance, theater, and visual art every year, K through 12. But even before COVID started, only 12% of the schools in California were offering that. Only 12% of the schools were doing what's mandated by the law. So this is something that we are looking for to young people to help raise awareness around, because it's the law and you're not getting it, and that's not fair. It's also an equity issue, of course. You know, some people are getting more than other people. That's one thing. And then the studies have shown that students who do get an arts education and are trained in creativity do better in every other subject. So for those of you who want to be microbiologists or senators, if you are taking arts classes, you're going to be doing better in your history, math, science classes. Another reason why we're so passionate about creativity is that we believe it's a public health issue, especially right now. You know, kids need everybody needs an outlet right now, and creativity is a way to like process our emotions and help us deal with hard things in our lives, which everybody has, and I think right now all of us are experiencing because of the pandemic. So we're really passionate about tying together why arts education is particularly important in this moment. And if you're not getting it in your schools right now, like finding time to be creative and maybe take after school classes at something like the Art Hour, which we'll be talking about later, would be great. A fourth reason why creativity matters so much is that students with training in creativity do better professionally, which we've already touched on a little bit, but the studies show if you get an arts education, if you're taking arts classes when you're in high school, you do better in your career later. And in California, we have a massive creative economy. 1 out of 10 jobs is in the creative industries. And not only that, but as I said before, any employer is looking for creativity. It's the number 1 skill that all employers are looking for is creativity. So those are some reasons like why we're so passionate and why we're here today to talk about creativity and why we're here to raise awareness around it as being something we need to actually think about. A lot of times people don't think about it or, you know, just put it off to the side as something that we don't have to fight for.
Right. Yes, so kind of transitioning into that, I think we want to ask you guys a question, kind of make this interactive. So if you guys could respond in the chat, that would be wonderful. Our question is, how does creativity matter to you? What are some creative things that you maybe do every day, and how does that affect you? Why does that matter to you? I can definitely say, as like Leda just touched on, I think right now during this pandemic, being creative has definitely been an outlet for me. Like, I've been very thankful and grateful to go to an arts high school. So I'm constantly being thrown into that kind of creative artistic environment. Like currently in one of my theater classes, I'm working on like a web series, for example. And I've never gotten to do that before, but it kind of keeps me motivated to like get through senior year and have that creative outlet. Still having like that team cooperation, having a team to work on creatively. So I know that's why creativity matters to me. It keeps me sane. It keeps me productive. So yeah, if you guys could maybe answer in the chat, why does creativity matter to you? And I know that even just being creative in a sense of like maybe grabbing a pencil and a piece of paper and just doodling for a while can just be so therapeutic in a sense. Maybe putting on some music and just dancing around in your room, like that in itself is being creative, and that could help you a lot with what's going on right now. So yeah, why does creativity matter to you? What are some ways that you guys are creative, especially during this pandemic? Helps me release stress. Oh, absolutely. I can definitely tell you that my academic stress has been a lot less when I am participating in arts projects, and like either if I'm on a team or if I have like a project to work towards. Of course, not right now, but at one point when I was like doing either like a production or I was part of a film, like I definitely felt myself like de-stressing a lot more. Yeah, I do art and makes me happy, yes, absolutely. Creativity inspires me and allows me to enjoy myself. Yes, it is kind of like an internal thing that you do. It's creativity, I'm sure. Of course, there's ways to do it within a team and with a bunch of people, but it's also such an internal process, and it's well like, what do you think is creative? How does that help you personally, especially with everything being socially distanced? I'm sure creativity is a more of an internal process right now. So yeah, definitely enjoying yourself. That's a big thing.
I definitely agree. Like, I love what somebody said about it's a lifestyle. It's so important for me to take time to do something creative, whether it's dancing or drawing. And I'm not, I'm not like a professional artist in that way, but I need the kind of different kind of brain space that it takes to be creative. It's like a break. It's like a little vacation for me.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And then it says keeps my mind busy. Yes, absolutely. So kind of transitioning from that, thank you for your responses. Oh yeah, it helps me keep stress away, makes me, oh, absolutely motivated, just being encouraged to keep going. Yes, I totally vibe with that. Okay, so kind of transitioning from that. So if we want to get through all these problems that we're facing today, I know like I'm looking at the people around here, the generation that we are right now, the responsibilities we're starting to hold. I know it can be overbearing in a sense. It's kind of coming on us. We are the future. And of course, we're not living in this perfect world right now, or not even world, our country right now. So I see those responsibilities coming on our generation. And it is kind of our job to like build that sort of like leadership and having those people out there in the world who can fight for us and fight for what we want. And one thing that is essential to that is creativity, having that sort of creative process, being imaginative, having ways to approach very, very complex problems like that. You need to access this part of your thinking or part of your brain that allows you to be creative. So as a generation that is very active, if you will, and is definitely reaching the point of kind of overtaking, I think it's very, very important to have those creative, like being the creative leader, starting from maybe the classroom and then going up to bigger projects, maybe even within your school, being active with your administration, having those roles and being creative in that sense is very, very important, and is going to help us so much when it comes like when it's our turn to kind of shape the world that we want, which is very soon, I might say.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's in history, it's been creative innovators who've come up with solutions to problems that change the world. And any one of you who has a creative process might come up with some really cool solutions to some of the big problems that we're facing.
Absolutely.
So now in the chat, if you could put in, how is your work and your creativity making a difference in the world or in your personal life? Like, are you guys doing any projects that you feel like are helping solve problems? We'd love to know about those if you're doing any of that.
Yeah, I guess I can touch on the Art Hour at this point. So the Art Hour is a nonprofit organization that I've been working with. Actually, a friend of mine created the whole thing. They are the director, the founder, all of it. And I work underneath them. And I am a theater instructor. That's what I kind of touched on in the beginning. And our goal, our mission is to basically provide 1 hour free art classes to students that either don't get arts education at school or have very, very limited arts education at school. So we kind of take on that role and like kind of emphasizing that arts is a form of education. It's necessary. It should be in every single public school curriculum. And unfortunately, it's not there, but we want to kind of be a catalyst with that, like kind of push it forward. And until then, kind of provide art classes for students who don't necessarily get it. Do you guys have fashion design? Honestly, this is such an evolving process. I could literally, now that you mentioned it, I can go talk to my director, or my boss, if you will, and totally incorporate a class, because basically all the instructors come from Loxa, my high school, and we're trained in everything. Like you could name any like art form that you want, and I'm very sure we can provide an instructor and teacher who's like trained to provide like education and information on that.
I just have to say that the Art Hour is such an amazing example of youth-led student leadership. This group of people including who Reva's calling her boss, they're in high school and they started this entire program on their own. It's an amazing thing, and it makes me so hopeful for the future, knowing that there's young people like everybody part of the Art Hour and all of you here who are just taking initiative and making stuff happen. I mean, they're offering free art classes to anybody who wants to take them right now on the Art Hour. And it's such an amazing example of like creativity and leadership that I hope you all are inspired by and hope you'll all check out.
Absolutely. So yeah, we are currently offering, we're actually starting this new little section within the Art Hour that is catered to more older high school kids, I would say. It's also we're kind of doing like an audition segment, if you will, because I'm sure, like, I know for me, auditions are coming up for colleges or even professional work if you're into that. Like, I saw a lot of professional dancer. I heard a lot of people want to do that. That's a whole audition process that you have to learn. So we are creating a segment for that. How do I apply? I can probably do this later. I can put the website link in the chat. It's called thearthour.org, I believe. Oh, wonderful. It's in the chat. But yeah, that's the website. The website's super organized, and you can totally apply on there. And if you have any more questions regarding Art Hour, on the website itself, there's an email, and we'll totally, especially if you want like certain classes that maybe you don't see on the website, we can totally incorporate those. But yeah, that's definitely an example. But yeah, I think we kind of want to move on to the next question. We're loving these responses. If you guys could keep going with your responses, that would be wonderful. But our next question is, what will you do to commit to cultivating your creative process? How are you going to commit to that? How are you going to hold yourself accountable to be creative? Yeah, if you guys could drop that in the chat. Ooh, we want to know.
So yeah, part of this question is that we want you to come away from this feeling like inspired and committed to your own creativity, and making sure that you work time into your lives to develop your creative practice, but also help other students with the same thing. And so if you do go to CreateCA.org, you'll see resources there that will help you to advocate for arts education, which we see as a really pivotal and important aspect of making sure that all of you have the creative experience that you need to build to your careers that you all want to do.
Yes, help a business. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, actually, we're very lucky to have even once again, touching back to Art Hour, I'm sorry. It's a very, very diverse group of instructors, and yeah, it just really, it's a great thing if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, I think we just put the CreateCA in the chat, if you guys could check that out.
And follow us on social. I've got our social handles up here, but definitely go to thearthour.org and createca.org. You can find us there. We're super passionate about helping young people to build their creativity. So please, we're here. And thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to talk to you guys. Thank you for being responsive in the chat. That was really nice. I hope you guys have a great day. Of course. Thank you. Thank you for being here. This was amazing. Thank you. Have a good day.